soul crushing is an installation with around 190 flip-flops that are connected by a pneumatic system. I made 2 years ago a sculpture that was inspired by, like when your mom is like angry. It was kind of like a universal joke. But I always knew I wanted to do something with this clap that's like cute, but also a bit scary. So that was a bit the challenge, going from the small scale to the big scale of like the individual to the group. I started with a genuine interest in moments where there's a group dynamic, either protests, moments where groups are making sound around a musical logic. Something we're trying to explore with Reda Schabrunner for the music is kind of like a fluidity in how we distribute who is the metronome, who is leading the music, and then moments where there's no leader and where things are organized in this horizontal way. So we're just playing with different dynamics and also with music sometimes, and taking a lot of inspiration from different Moroccan rhythmics.
The first part was about experimenting, the manufacturer having like intensive days and developing the sound of each group of the flip-flops, and then trying to find how can I do and compose the music, and trying to analyze every day the reflection of the sound of the flip-flops on the mirrors, on the ceiling and on the ground. It reflects a little bit daily life, yeah, that you have to make a little movement to get in, to have a conversation or a dialogue with each other.
There's a metaphor for how to kind of like be together, the dystopia of the scarcity of resources in a mini version of a society that these flip-flops make. For Aisha is a film that has two narratives that are weaved into each other. There's the story of a filmmaker who wants to make a film about her relationship with her mother. But in order to be able to finish writing her film, she wants to understand her mother better. And then within the film, there's the film that she's making that we get to see. The main character, her name is Bushra. She's a jackal. She's around 35. She's a filmmaker in New York. Although we could only think of it as something autobiographical, it's actually completely like a collage of so many points of views and all of our craftsmanship together and our sensitivities with the team, which is composed of Orian Barki, who's co-directing and co-wrote the film with me, and Aylam Rabet. And then the main team is Jason Coombs, who is the lead of animation and has kind of creative produced the film with John Michael, who's on top of being creative producer, the director of photography.
Ouais, maman. Tiens.
شلونك فرحان بك كذا كتصور فيه؟
ديما كتصورني.
ياك ما كتخاف؟ لا ما تخافيش.
I like this combination of animation and documentary. I think it was interesting as a documentary filmmaker, bringing that perspective into the project. It gives the animation something grounding that creates like a different tension between the images and the story. I think they flatter each other. There's the documentary element of like just moments of life. There's a scene where Bucha is just like at home, and then she opens the window and she scoops like a scoop of snow and eats it. And that's literally just based on a video that Meriem took of me doing it. We're like, okay, if we're bringing out of life, let's go on like our iPhones and like look at videos of like moments in life that we think are cool and are almost like impossible to write.
Because one time you said that you never hooked up with someone in your first language. And then I said, oh, what about that French bunny?
My favorite scene in the film is a scene where the main character is in the car with her aunt. It's a scene that actually is fully documentary, where I had filmed my aunt for another film, talking about her dating life. So to the perspective of the main characters, like queerness and feeling kind of like a bit sometimes the odd one out when she visits family in terms of sexuality or just like sharing her dating life, to have the parallel of the aunt who's experiencing being single in your late 60s. You kind of find yourself, you know, connecting in this way without even fully saying it like it is, but you feel connected. I find it's a very touching moment.
Je sais que j'aurais été beaucoup mieux si j'avais un petit peu d'amour dans ma vie, un petit compagnon, tu vois, qui de temps en temps m'offre un petit peu de tendresse, d'affection. Mais bon. Si c'est pour être malheureuse avec quelqu'un, c'est pas la peine.
There's an element that really connects both pieces in the exhibition, which has to do with breathing and air. A lot of the work of an animator is to breathe life into a character through movement and really convince you that the character has life and personality. We kind of thought it would be a funny, nerdy animator joke to make the main character asthmatic. Soul Crushing, the installation of the musical flip-flops, actually is all based on a pneumatic system. So we have air at very, very high pressure triggering the mechanical system. And if a group of flip-flops consumes too much air, the other ones are out of breath. The installation Soul Crushing and the film for Aisha, they are two different pieces in different mediums. The way that they coexist together is that I think they both play with a range that can very quickly go from silliness and maybe something that feels small and playful to a scale that maybe is a bit more scary or a bit more emotionally deep. The title for My Best Family comes from the film. At the end, there is the character of the aunt Yamna, who says that she's feeling very good because she's with her best family. She's speaking English second language, so it's not grammatically correct, but I thought it made so much sense to say I'm with my best family. And I really liked how she phrased it.
Yamna, how are you feeling?
Very good. Because I'm with my best family.